Swarna. Welcome to Sakshi TV special immigration show with attorney Mr. Bhanu Illindra from Managing Attorney at BBI Law Group PC. Please note that Sakshi TV now has 3 immigration shows every week on Tuesday at 3 p.m. EST with attorney Ms. Sheila Murthy, Wednesday at 5:30 p.m. EST with attorney Prashanthi Reddy in English, and on Friday at 6 p.m. EST with Bhanu Illindra. Please tune in to ask your questions. If you are an immigration attorney and would like to join our special shows, please email us at usa@sakshi.com or you can call us at 866-725-7441. So before we begin the show, please note the information provided on this show is not a legal advice. It's for general information purposes only. Sakshi TV or its agents will not be responsible for use of information. If you need a specific legal advice, please contact the attorneys directly. So Mr. Bhanu Illindra doesn't need any introduction. But if you need consultation, please log on to ilindraglagroup.net for contact information. When you connect with them, don't forget to mention Sakshi TV. From the beginning, ilindraglagroup.net has put a wealth of free information and online tools in the hands of immigrant community and for the benefit of US employers. www.ilindralawgroup.net site provides you with the latest and cutting-edge information on US immigration law and policies, explained in terms you do not need to be a lawyer to understand. So today's topic, latest updates in immigration law. We will be continuing the knowledge session along with the news and updates on latest immigration, followed by question and answers. Before we get into the topic, you can call us on the number on the screen for questions related to immigration and also ask tips. Hello, Mr. Bhanu Illindra. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Thank you for inviting me to the show again.
Awesome. So before we get onto the topic, do you have any latest immigration updates this week?
Yes. The very important update came today from the USCIS. They actually updated on their website as an alert for the employment-based immigrant visas page. The alert clearly encourages individuals to utilize the regulatory procedure which is available for the people to interfile their existing I-485s with the EB2 I-140 petitions. What that update is telling is, for the purpose of encouraging them to interfile their I-485s, is that for the fiscal year, which started on October 1, 2021 and ending on September 30, 2022, there are 140,000 family-based immigrant visas have been allocated to the employment-based immigrant visas. Therefore, there are hundreds of thousands of visas available for the employment-based category in this fiscal year. They have not been utilized yet. And as per them, for the EB1 category and EB2 category, there are more immigrant visas available than the adjustment of status applications that are pending with the USCIS as of now. Therefore, they're encouraging people, if anybody filed their 485s based upon EB3 petitions, EB3 category petitions, and if they have an existing EB2 petition that is their final action date is current, they're strongly encouraging to request for the transfer of underlying basis, which is basically, in general term, we call it as an interfiling. Okay, interfiling of I-485. So they're encouraging strongly to interfile their I-485 to the EB2 category petitions. Therefore, they can get their green cards at the earliest. So that's a very strong update, because there are a lot of, the reason why it is a very important update is there are a lot of apprehension and a lot of misinformation that is circulating all around in the internet, in the website, and also by many other people, that interfiling is not a good option, because if you file interfile, you don't know what's going on with your file. With USS, you don't even know whether the USS considered it or not and everything. But the thing is, it's a regulated procedure, has been there for the purpose of our convenience, for the people who are applying for the adjustment of status, So, and they're strongly encouraging people to do that right now, especially we know that last week last week visa bulletin has come for the February month, and in the February month, final action dates have been moved forward to the 2013, and that's a very important carry forward. That's moved more than 8 months for the EB2 category. That's a significant forward movement. So in light of that, I have got several calls from my clients and prospective clients saying that now their EB2 final dates have been current and they have existing EB2 also. What they're supposed to do to refile I-140, to refile I-485 again, or submit the interfiling for the existing 485. I strongly advise them to interfile I-485 instead of refiling one more set of 485, because it will create two 485 files again. Again, they have to merge both the files. There are a lot of processes to go together in order for them to adjudicate the case. Instead of that, if you have an ability and eligibility and the possibility to interfile, do the interfiling. And today, US actually did confirm that, and they strongly encouraging now with this update people to file, to do the interfiling of their I-485s from EB3 category to EB2 category or EB1 category, whichever is available for them to do if their final action dates are current.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Bhanu. So, can you provide us the latest news on H1B?
The latest news at H1B is not much, basically. Only thing is right now, we are preparing for the cap season, which is going to commence from March 1, 2022 onwards for the fiscal year 2023, which is going to commence from October 1, 2022, And however, we are eagerly waiting for that case pending in the court pertaining to the registration process, H1B lottery registration process. As of now, we have not heard anything from the USCIS or from the American Immigration Lawyers Association or from the plaintiff's lawyers also, who actually filed this case, that any decision is going to come very soon or not. But we're expecting that some kind of a decision has to come if anything has to be done with the registration process for the fiscal year 2023. Otherwise, fiscal year 2023 registration process will continue, and probably if any decision comes, that will be implemented for the fiscal year 2024. So the only thing is right now is the cap season is going to come for the fiscal year 2023, and we are getting ready for that. And we are still filing fiscal year cap 2022 cases that have been selected in the third lottery. We have given time till February 2021, and those cases have been filed. So if anybody has been selected in the third lottery for the fiscal year 2022, and if have not filed their H1B petition as of now, please talk to your employers and make sure that those petitions are filed timely so that you won't lose the opportunity for the fiscal year 2022. And also what we have seen latest with the H1B petitions is, again, there's a sudden increase in the issuance of RFEs pertaining to specialty occupation requirement. It wasn't, we were getting approvals, there were no problems, and plenty of approvals have come. We have seen occasional specialty occupation RFEs in the past, but recently in the past few weeks, like 4 to 6 weeks, we are seeing a lot of specialty occupation RFEs are being issued by the USCIS. We need to see how this trend will go, but we did not receive any denials upon responding to the RFEs, but we are seeing this trend of issuance of more specialty occupation RFEs, and also more RFEs pertaining to the students who are actually pursue their education in this country and did employment on CPT and OPT work authorizations, basically. So we're seeing this trend in the H1B RFEs right now.
Okay, that's great, Mr. Bhanu. So, can you explain us more about what is the current status of H1B?
Current status of H1B is what it is basically in the past. As long as you have a bona fide requirement and as long as you can substantiate or show under the preponderance of the evidence standard that you have a requirement for an individual in a specialty occupation for which you intend to hire, you should be able to file a H1B petition. I don't see there is nothing much changed if it comes to from the past year till date, except that, as I said, receiving some specialty occupation RFEs in recent times.
Okay. So is US accepting H1B applications?
Yes, we are. As I said, we are accepting the H1B applications. We have a lot of wavelength to do that. And we encourage people to reach us to our office. As I said, my office and contact details are provided in the website. And also, I think in the end of the show, they will provide the contact details for form. If not, I'm very happy to provide those details also. And we are accepting the H-1B filings, and we encourage people to reach out to us. Feel free to call us. We don't charge anything for the consultations, basically, most of the times. Uh, uh, and you all should be able to reach us and discuss with us.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Bhanu, what is the last date for H-1B in 2022?
2022 filing, you mean to say, for the
Yes.
fiscal year
Yeah.
cap?
H-1B, yes.
Yeah, for the fiscal year 2022 cap, yes. That ends in February 2nd, I believe. February 2nd or February 3rd. I don't recollect exact date, but sometime in February, that 90-day window is ending for the fiscal year 2022 for the cases that have been selected in the third lottery in the fiscal year 2022.
So, US Embassy open in India for H-1B stamping? Is it going to happen soon?
Yes, it's opening, and they are actually scheduling quite a few. We've seen, based upon the new notification given by the consulates, we have seen that they're scheduling a lot of appointments in the Indian consulates for the H-1B visas and other types of visas. As I said in the previous show which we have done in the past few weeks, we discussed lengthy about the Dropbox eligibilities and the Dropbox facilities for the people. That is basically visa interview waiver for the people who are applying for the non-immigrant visas in certain categories in India, and because they expanded that interview waiver availability for several category individuals until December 2022, now a lot of people qualify for the interview waiver or a Dropbox eligibility in India. There are more 20,000 additional visa slots are being released, are going to be released in India for the non-immigrant visas like H-1Bs, Ls, Os, Ps, F1s, J1s, and Ms, basically. So all these visas. So this individual will be able to schedule an appointment now, I think, very quickly compared with the previous times where people were waiting till 7 months, 8 months to get their appointment at the consulates. I know that people got their slot sometime in October 2022 for H-1B visas to come to US, where they're supposed to be here on October 2021. That's much waiting period was there in the past. Now, I think it's going to become better if they have a prior visas, and they will be able to book a slot through the Dropbox eligibility, and they should be able to come to US very quickly. We have seen the trend that the consulates are opening up a little bit more and allowing the visa appointments a little bit more right now. We have seen this trend even with the Mumbai consulate also for the immigrant visas. We are seeing a lot of cases, a lot of family-based immigrant visas are being scheduled for the interviews in the month of February and March for many of our clients in Mumbai. We are waiting for these appointments for more than almost 18 months to 19 months because of the COVID-19 pandemic. They could not schedule, but now they're scheduling. So it's a very good information we have. It's a very good sign we have that the consulates are going to, hopefully they'll become fully functional very soon.
So that's great, Mr. Bhanu, because it's going to help a lot of people for sure. A lot of people are waiting to get the visa. So do you think will there be any H-1B lottery in 2023?
Yes, it is going to be. I mean, as of now, the lottery is there. As of now, but right now the lottery is through the registration process right now. But if the case that has been pending in the court, if it is ruled in favor of the plaintiffs before the registration commencement for this year, then probably it may roll back to the previous times where we have to file H-1B petitions from April 1 of that particular year. In the first 5 days, how many petitions have been received. Based upon that, they will determine whether they have to take out the lottery or not, or whether the quota has been reached or not for the first 5 business days. So either way, lottery is going to be there even this year because the H-1B program is going to oversubscribe. Subscription will be more for the H-1B program even for this year also. So the lottery is going to be there, whether it's through the registration process or it's going to be traditional lottery. We have to wait and see. But as of now, we are preparing for the through the registration process only.
Awesome. So we have a caller from Florida.
Sure.
So yes, welcome. Hello.
Hi. Hi,
Hello.
I'm Shilpa.
Hi, Miss.
Yeah,
Hi.
Hi.
Please go ahead with your
yeah.
question.
So my question is, if I'm currently working on the green card EAD. I got my green card EAD. I'm working with the green card EAD. So it was filed by my husband. Like my husband is the primary applicant for the GC. So I got to know that if the GC application is denied or something, I will have to go back to India and then file the come back again with H1B if I have to use H1B to work again. So is it like I have to go through a lottery process again, or is it like since my H1B is valid for 2 more years, I can just use the current H1B and return back, or how is the process actually?
Yes, if you still have a remaining period on your H1B, you did not exhaust your complete 6 years on H1B petition, and if you still have a remaining period on that, then you are not subject to the cap. You should be able to go to India and able to come back on H1B immediately, provided you have an employment, your employer sponsored you H1B petition at the time, and you can go to the consulate and apply for H1B visa and come into this country.
No, actually, my H1B has maxed out. It is 6 years. I have applied for extension, and the extension is valid for 2 more years.
I understand, but you're not an H1B status anymore now. You are an EAD status right now, based upon your adjustment of status application. Therefore, that time frame ends. The 6 year period will stop on the day you basically moved on to adjustment of status EAD. Okay, that means still you will have that enough period on that H1B to utilize it in the future once you go out and then come back on H1B. Hope you got it. Hope she understood what I said.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, Mr. Bhanu. I think we got disconnected. But so let's continue with our topic. So, so can two employers file H1B?
Yes, two employers can file H1B. I mean, I can have multiple offers at the same time. But this question is a very tricky question, if you ask me. The reason is, why it's a tricky question is there are several scenarios we can discuss under the situation, whether which is permissible, which is not permissible. Okay, two employers can file an H1B petition for you, but you have to work only for one employer because H1B is an employer-specific petition. If there are two individual H1B petitions, two employers can file for an H1B for you, but you cannot work for two employers at the same time. You have to work only for one employer. However, there is an exception to the situation. If one employer is your main employer, and if the other employer files your H1B as a concurrent H1B employment, then you can actually work for both employers at the same time. Okay? And so that's why I said it's a tricky question, because there are two aspects in this. How the H1B petitions have been filed will determine whether for how many employers you can work at the same time. You know, there is no limit. Multiple employers can file H1B for you at the same time, as long as those employment opportunities are unique, bona fide, and a separate job opportunity. They're not the same job opportunity, like same employer or a sister company filing H1B or like that. They are different employers filing for the different position, not even the same client. I'm talking about, especially in the IT consulting business, where you have employer, vendor, and client relation situations where you'll have one end client. It cannot be the same end client or the same position, you know, different employers, different positions. If it's a bona fide job offer, multiple employers can file H1B petitions. Nobody can deny individuals' right to get a multiple offers from multiple employers. And they have a right to choose for which employer they would like to work with, you know? And so, yes, that's the thing. So as I said, there are two scenarios in this. In those two scenarios, if one employer files as a main employer, the other one is a concurrent employer, then he can work for two employers. Otherwise, he cannot work for two employers. He can only work for one employer. Although multiple employers can file an H1B petition.
Okay. So, Mr. Bhanu, if you want to talk about H1B lottery in 2022, do you think there will be a second round for it?
Yes, I think so. It's always been like that. You know, from the beginning, the registration process started, we have seen minimum two rounds have lottery been happening. The reason is but the many people which have been selected in the lottery in the beginning in March, by the time they're going to file an H-1B petition, they have a 90 days time to file from April 1 to June 30th. Many of the employees, prospective employees for their employers, actually declining their offers, or they're taking some other offers and joining some other employers, or doing something else in the time, because 90 days is a huge time frame for them to change their minds. So because of that, many employers may not utilize all the cases that have been selected in the lottery and submit those cases to the USCIS. And because of that, it's very likely that we will see second round of lottery also this year. And also it depends upon how many registrations happen. Based upon that also, just like for fiscal year 2022, same thing can happen with fiscal year 2023. So we may have a third set of lottery also for the fiscal year 2023 registrations. So it is absolutely possible.
So you think there will be a third round of lottery too?
If the same trend continues, what happened in the fiscal year 2022, yes, absolutely, there will be in the third round also.
Okay. Then just to know, like, who is eligible for Dropbox H-1B stamping?
People, as of now, there are two types of individuals eligible for the Dropbox stamping for H-1Bs in India. One is if somebody had an H-1B visa in the past, okay, and if such visa has been expired within the last 48 months and is going to the same consulate and applying for the same type of visa, then they may be eligible for the Dropbox. That's a traditional Dropbox eligibility requirement. Mm-hmm. Under the recent guidance provided in the December 2021, this Dropbox eligibility has been expanded to other type of category people also. What they said is, it is not only that you do not need to have only same type of a visa, as long as you have been issued some type of visa to the US, and you have never been rejected or denied a visa in the past, then if you're applying for H-1B visa in Indian consulates, then you may be eligible for the Dropbox eligibility. This expansion of the Dropbox eligibility has been provided a timeline. It's going to sunset in December 2022 as of now. They may expand it beyond that, but right now it has been given only till December 2022, this provision. That means if any individual who has a visa in the past, any visa, some type of visa has been issued in the past by the consulates in India, and he has never been denied or rejected any visa, then he may be eligible for the Dropbox. Okay?
Yeah. So, Mr. Bhanu, before we continue our topic, we have Ms. Shilpa on call from Florida. Hi, Ms. Shilpa, please go ahead with your question.
Yeah. It's a follow-up to our discussion. Sorry, my call got cut. So, yeah, what my question was for that green card EAD, right? Like whatever I spoke on. So, if I go to, like you mean to say, even if I, even though I'm on my H-1B extension now, right? H-1B extension still, after 6 years maxed out, I'm doing this H-1B extension. But once I use the green card EAD, I still have years left on the H-1B. Without lottery, I can come back from India.
Your H-1B, your timeline that will be counted towards the H-1B will stop on the day you started using your green card EAD. Because on the day you started using green card EAD, you are in violation of your H-1B status. That means you're no longer an H-1B status at the time. Okay, you are in this country as an adjustee, pursuant to your adjustment of status application filed, and accordingly you're working in this country based upon the EAD approved to you. You are authorized to stay in this country based upon your 485 pending, but not because of your H-1B petition or H-1B status at the time when you start using your EAD card for your employment purposes. Okay, so let's assume this way. I'm giving you with the timeline. Assume that you have an H-1B from 2016 onwards, basically in this country. 2016 October 1 is your start date of first H-1B day in this country, and then you file for an extension for additional 3 years in 2019 October. which has been approved for you till 2022, September 2022, basically. Okay. But meanwhile, you applied for the adjustment of status I-485 sometime in 2019 or 2020, and then you got an EAD in sometime in 2020 April or 2020 May. Once you got an EAD, you stopped working based upon the H-1B, but you started working based upon the approved EAD. So your 6-year accrual period, your H-1B accrual period towards 6 years will stop on May 2020 because you started using EAD from that time.
Okay, I got your point. But actually, my 6 years has already maxed out. I have an I-140, and with the valid I-140, I have been extending. So 6 years has already maxed out.
Yes, if the visa numbers are not available for you at the time you were going to India for H-1B stamping, then you will be eligible without you be yourself not being subject to the cap. But however, if the visa numbers are available, then you may not be eligible for the H-1B at the time. Probably you have to go through the lottery again. Okay.
All right. Thank you, Shilpa. I hope you got the answer, and you can call us again. So, Mr. Bhanu, let's get back to our question. So, what are the options if H-1B is not selected in lottery? Then what are the choices, options they have?
The choices are, if you look into it today, USC has actually provided a guidelines on how one can qualify for O1 extraordinary ability non-immigrant visa in a STEM fields, like a science, technology, engineering, management fields. So if any one of them actually meets that criteria in the STEM fields, then they can try O1 visa in lieu of H-1B visa. That is very good option. Second, other option is we have to see whether an individual may qualify for L1 visa in that entity if that entity wants to bring him as an intra-company transfer into this company, into country. That's another option available for them. Especially we are talking about the Indian nationals here, because our show is main, we do it for the Indian audience, especially Telugu audience, this show. And so I'm talking the scenarios which are applicable only to Indian nationals, And so other option, these are the two options available for them to come to the US and work. And there is a third option also available where if they want to come as an F1 student in this country to pursue their higher education, they can pursue their higher education. And that in incidental to the higher education, they get work authorizations, which is a CPT, curricular practical training, and OPT, optional practical training. And they should be able to work and get trained based upon those authorizations, and then later on change their status to H-1B again, or any other type of visa as L1 or O1 or anything like that. So there are plenty of opportunities available, but it's all about one's qualifications, right? If they qualify, then there are plenty of opportunities available to them.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Mr. Bhanu, for providing us all the information. So once again, thank you so much. And this is Swarna signing off. You are watching Telugu Prajalamana Sakshi TV. Namaste.